Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on how to release some of the negativity, some of the burden, the pressure, the sort of disillusionment that comes once you've sort of progressed to that stage with a relationship with someone who is toxic, a manipulator, someone who might have a pathology in this manner and causes them to really stir other people up. And because of a lack of empathy, there becomes a real feeling of disconnect and not belonging with these relationships because they require, a supply relationships. And to a certain degree, to maintain a relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath, to a certain point, it will become intolerable. And you've probably expressed a lot of tolerance for this person, but then you keep raising the bar, or lowering the bar, and it becomes very difficult. How do you move on and ask the right questions to liberate yourself so that you don't feel stuck in this negative emotion subset? The narcissist has a way of projecting their insecurities, and most people then make the erroneous thought pattern, flawed thinking, basically, that they are the cause of it. That oftentimes people as supply, they feel responsible for the unhappiness, or they feel overly obligated to make sure this individual is happy, content, has your availability, all the different things that you might have already done to accommodate and over obligate and give to this individual. Meanwhile, while living in denial or not receiving from this person in the way that you need, in the manner that you need, that makes sense to you, you'll find that there will be a feeling of a growing distance. And how do you release that negativity, that heaviness? And really, it's that heaviness is to understand a lot of it is caused, I feel, from the presence of a judgment or a criticism. Judgment meaning they're holding something over you, saying this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good, but it's really according to what serves their needs, not based in reality or, checking out through morality or moral obligation. It's just usually the yardstick that they want to compare you to is something that will suit their needs and not necessarily accurate in reality, especially when you experience projection. This is the psychological concept, I believe, that originated with Freud, and he talks about the way that an individual will project their insecurities or their flaws or things of that nature that are, dark, difficult to deal with alone within themselves. They will project that fault onto another. And then once again, the other person, then begins to think erroneously or have flawed thinking, which means incorrect, erroneous, it's you're developing. Oftentimes people develop they feel responsible for this person and the blame. That becomes what is known as codependency, over obligation, doing too much. But you might have naturally sort of slipped into this position with absorbing a lot of other people's negativity because of this, because you thought it was required, because you thought you were good at it, because of the name of love, you were there to help them, to be, a shoulder, a support. But at certain points, it becomes more of a crutch. And one important thing to understand with narcissists and psychopaths, once they begin to sort of go through the devalue and discard, they will, elicit a lot more of these negative feelings. And you oftentimes will feel that they either come out of nowhere, and generally they are unfounded, what you might see exhibited as narcissistic rage. And because you care so much, because you have felt responsible for their happiness, before, you might feel that responsible for their unhappiness and that it is your fault. So you have to realize, is this the truth? You have to ask yourself, is this really your fault? You can ask yourself these questions and just sort of keep yourself in a checks and balances. So, you can ask, for example, if someone's wanting to give up candy, and they just feel that they can't live without their snack, or they can't live without their sugar, or they're addicted to pop, or whatever it is. So you can challenge that within yourself. Is it true that you can't function without candy? Is it true you can't function without receiving the abuse of this person? Is this the case? You'll find that people think that they can't move on because of this sort of erroneous thought or flawed thinking. Is it true? Is it really true that you're unlovable and a terrible person? Is that true? You challenge yourself with these questions. Is that true? And ask yourself, to get to the truth of things, because people are so used to almost habitually living in a lie to sort of, to numb out the feeling of, perhaps the grief of letting them go. People then lie to themselves, it is all my fault. I'm not good enough. I didn't try hard enough. They're taking the blame for everything, and then they just feel, a sense of trauma bond and enmeshment. In other words, you feel you've digested, you've internalized your your identity is too much based on what's going on with them. That becomes codependency, that becomes a trauma bond, and it starts to take the place of your needs, your interests, and that is what weighs heavy. So it's those, it's a postural thing. You feel burdened. You feel, there's an overbearing presence that you can't liberate yourself from. So ask yourself, is it true? Is it true that all their problems are my fault? Is it true that because they couldn't go out or they did this, that it's my fault? Is it my fault that they're cheating? Is it my fault that they're lying? And then you'll begin to see that you're not responsible for them. You might have a lot of inflicted upon you, but don't be an open book for other people's negativity. Really be careful. Stop absorbing other people's negativity, because pretty soon if you listen to a lot of people dish up a lot of negativity, you'll begin to feel the same. You'll become an energetic match. So be very conscious of what you are allowing yourself to feel and the thoughts that go with it, and check that out and see how, once you do this, you'll begin to feel a little bit more lightness of being. Allow yourself to lighten up today. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Have a beautiful day. Do something fun, enjoyable, and pleasurable for yourself. You need it, and you deserve it.